happens, Richard, is the not listening. They're so busy. They've got somebody on the phone. They're trying to get everything out so fast, and but they're not listening to what the person on the other end is saying. And I just think that if my father, it's amazing how the older I get, the smarter he gets. It's just, he goes, Joe, you've got two ears and one mouth. He goes, listen more than you talk. And he's right on. He was right on. And I just am like, in sales, that is something that you really have to take into consideration.
So I have a follow-up question to your statement there. Do your agents know your script by heart? A to Z, 1 to 3? Do they know
No,
everything?
no, they don't. Depending on the personality, we have so many different scripts. So that most of them don't even really follow a script. They
Oh, that's
go
fine.
by what we try and teach is, when somebody picks up the phone, you need to be listening to them. And, kind of, I don't want to say mirror it, but understand how they're coming out there. You can tell, right, in the first few seconds how somebody is that day, if they feel like they're bothered, but I mean, they do have scripts, don't get me wrong. And they have like 3 of them that they can all play off of, but nobody has one of them memorized, I don't think. But it's
But that's
geared
fine. But
toward listening.
as you say that they're well versed, they
Mhm.
know their subject well.
Yeah,
And what I've seen happen multiple times is that they become plastic, too
yeah, that's the problem.
commercialized. They're not a painting, they're not raw, they're a character, not in character. That's why
Mhm.
when your dog was barking, Joe, I asked what the dog's name was
Yeah.
as a follow-up question. Or how many years have you been in this position, this promotion at your company? Not congratulations on being CEO. How many years has it been, Joe? Where are you at right now?
Yeah.
And so when you say active listening, to me, it's really more of an engagement,
Yeah.
because
Yes, it
you're
is.
saying also as well that you might be upsetting somebody, but I'm telling you this, these are people you're meeting for the first time. I can't gauge the first round of the fight as I can on the 12th, because things do change like tug of war. It goes back and forth. There's a push and a pull.
Yeah.
But if I can match just your speed and how loud you go, then there's no crosstalk or interruption, because I'm really moving with you at your speed, but then I know when to interject to do the follow-up. That's the active listening. They need checkpoints. They need pauses. Do you remember the show Get Smart, when he was walking down the hallway and the doors were closing behind him? They're gonna
Yes, I
leave.
do.
Yo, my main man, they're gonna leave a door open. So after 15 minutes, they wonder why they didn't get the appointment. And all the client says is, hey, Joe, send me information.
Yeah.
No, because that's why when you gauge these people, you ask a follow-up question to see if it makes sense or if it sounds good. I'd
Yeah.
rather take a 3-second insurance policy to ask you a tie-down question than to assume, which, as you know, it makes an ass out of you and me, and just keep moving forward for the fear of being hung up upon. And
Yeah.
I believe in selling sizzle. And so if somebody has a beautiful building, I would love to take a look at it, because when I was doing residential real estate, the MLS was a gold mine for me,
Oh,
because you
yeah.
talk about the bedrooms, the kitchen, the sport court, the pool, the crown molding, or even the curb appeal. And obviously it was the biggest glaring tell sign of what the people were most proud of
Oh,
and
yeah.
what they loved the most. And so I allowed, through least resistance, it's called Wu Wei, to, as you say, 2-in-1, listen twice. I know what I know. I need to know what Joe knows.
Yeah.
And so by me allowing you to ask these questions, and me bringing you back in the conversation, don't be surprised if you not only can get everything out of it, but once again, they're probably going to call you and tell you how great I was by setting the appointment.
Mhm.
That should be the goal of your staff, is to get that positive escalation when you call back Mrs. Jones to represent her property.
Mhm.
And I always gave the most points on the call, Joe, when the client says your name. I
Yeah.
know you want a conversion and the scripts, and I'm so proud of what you built. But to me, if they are not capable of having that sort of balanced, grounded, in the moment sort of conversation where they are selling or buying one of the most expensive investments of their entire life, you have to put, it's almost like a vulnerable state for somebody. You really have to take that into consideration. And so instead of being a prospector, you're almost more of a consultant. Yeah, but you're not Joe the closer. That's not a problem at all. What I'm here to do today is to clarify for our edification, additional things above and beyond your specs that Joe would need to know in order to be in the moment with you to move forward emotionally and to either purchase or let this property go. So you are such a good man in regards to the psychology. You're like someone's best friend or older brother, making sure I don't get in a fist fight and stay out of trouble. And Joe, that's why you get these accounts. I don't know if they could price shop around or give it to a family member, but you've closed a lot of deals with people you've met for the first time. And these people, once again, are entrusting this in you. And so as much as I'm telling you before, there's no real secret sauce to this. If you show empathy, if you take an extra 5 minutes to speak with somebody, when you're online with them, just start looking at the website and making compliments and asking how Eddie in the mail room's doing. Don't be surprised if Joe's going to be way too busy and is going to have to eat 2 lunches to get his energy back.
Yeah, it's, you know, as far as, you know, salespeople, we're always taught, get the lead, get the deal, you know, get the appointment, you know, and I'm like you, it's just kind of like, you know, it's a process, you know, you got to have the process in place.
Well, you got to do clean business.
Yeah.
You got to properly represent yourself in the best light. And there's no surprises with you, Joe. Like, as much as you'd like to give somebody a price or sell it with certain terms, you're also realistic. And if you're able to have that sort of conversation with your clients, I think, once again, they respect you that much more.
Yeah. I would bet that when you're doing residential,